Hello, Paisanos, it's Enan63, and the first act of 2026 is officially over. April 2026 is over now, and I just cannot believe finally the second act of 2026 has begun, May to August. It just feels absolutely just crazy to me, man, just how much, time has passed. It almost feels like this year, yes, has did started, but it feels like I don't know, like I'm like 1 month behind or something. Well, no, not really technically. But yeah, I knew this year was gonna already storm by fast, and already it is, honestly. And you know what, honestly, I think it was definitely expected since all the amazing stuff that's happening and stuff. And yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and start this April 2026 rewind. So from April 1st, happy April Fools, except not. I went to the Super Mario Galaxy movie theaters, got my ticket and stuff. And as you can see from right here, of course, this is just me commentating, my overall reaction of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And yeah, pretty much as I can say right here. And I pretty much said a thank you Illumination and stuff and Nintendo and yeah, which I'm gonna be showing right here. And pretty much yeah. And of course, like I said, the Super Mario Galaxy movie was 10 out of 10 and stuff, and yeah, but I really loved it. And yeah, pretty much. And of course, I thought the story was great and stuff. Although it did feel a bit fan servicey and a bit too fast, but I enjoyed it and stuff. And yeah, pretty much. And also, I'm hyped for Daisy and stuff. So yeah. But yeah, very awesome Mario Galaxy movie, and yeah, so that's April 1st, April Fool's Day, then April 2nd, Just Tendo's amazing review on Wario Land Shake It, and that was April 2nd. April 3rd, Gold Connor's amazing review on Super Mario Galaxy movie, completed that, April 3rd, and now April 4th. I finally unboxed, Home for Nintendo Switch 1 and stuff, and yeah, physical copy, and it was great, so yeah, that was April 4th, and April 5th, Happy Easter, of course, and yeah, that's April 5th, and then April 6th, I finally, have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, you can see from the background right there. And yeah, and also I have a home and stuff, like right, you can see it like right there. And that's where I have home. And yeah. Sorry, no, not home. I meant to say off. But yeah, I got off and stuff. Actually, I should have said. No, it's not home. It's off. Sorry, I made a mistake there and stuff. But I'll type it later and stuff. But yeah, pretty much. Sorry about that, everyone. But anyways, back to what I was saying and stuff. Ugh, come on, can this thing... Okay, here we go. So now that was April, and now April 8th, I finally finished playing Resident Evil Requiem, and then April 9th, no, sorry, April 9th is when I finished it and stuff. But I finally finished it and stuff, and as I can say, right here in my long description review, sorry, I just loved it so much, it was just peak cinema and stuff. And yeah. No, actually, yeah, and stuff. Oh, and also Neverway has, a trailer release coming and stuff, and here's me, loving Resident Evil 9 Requiem and stuff, and yeah, it was just amazing experiments from start to finish. So you can see from my review right here and stuff, here it was, and yeah, pretty much and stuff, and yeah, that was Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and yeah. So there we go, I finally finished Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Requiem is one of the best games, ever. It was one of my new favorite video games and stuff. That also along with, Pragmata, which, yeah, stay tuned for my review on that and stuff. But all I can say, man, Capcom's on a winning streak. I really hope the Onoshima game becomes my other favorite game, and hope it becomes just as amazing. So, yeah. And of course, I'm doing Badass One-Liners and stuff, and Grace, being a mother on his own, the story passes on and stuff, and yeah. And yeah. Okay, sorry for that long pause and stuff, but yeah. But thank you, Capcom, for making one of the best Resident Evil video games ever since 4, 7, and maybe 1, I guess, because, 1 is important to the series. It started everything. And yeah. But yeah, that was April 9th and stuff. Get it? Because 9 and 9. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not funny. But anyways, yep, that was April 9th and stuff. And yeah. And finally, April 10th, the Amazing Digital Circus trailer. Okay, well, I'm not going to say because the episode already came out. It was amazing. So yeah, but the trailer. And then G-Man ranked every, single Grand Theft Auto video game and stuff, and yeah, pretty much. And that was the first act of April 2026. So, Super Mario Galaxy movie was big, G-Man GTA ranking, and I finished Resident Evil Night Requiem and stuff. But I did finish it in March, and I had to delay it until, April and stuff, and yeah. So, moving on to April 11th to April 20th and stuff. So on April 11th and stuff, I obviously, got, Cyber Shadow and stuff for, Nintendo Switch 1 physical copy, and yeah, pretty much and stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got. I got pretty much, Cyber Shadow, and yeah, for the Nintendo Switch 1 physical copy. And as you can tell from, right here and stuff, if we go up there's Cyber Shadow there and stuff, and yeah. And then after that, April 12th, this was my, final send-off farewell review to, Super Mario Galaxy movie, and yeah, pretty much. So then after that, pretty much, of course, I pretty much already made this review on April 1st, but I made my final send-off review on, April 12th and stuff, and yeah. And the Super Mario Galaxy movie was a 10 out of, okay, I already said this, so I don't need to, say it again, but from the script right here, and yeah, pretty much. And after that, yeah, April 12th is complete, and now moving on to April 13th. So April 13th, whoever made an amazing ranking video of, all the video indies that have, good art styles. I definitely named some list also, and yeah. I think it's Warfare on YouTube, but yeah. Game Stacks, amazing differences between the video game versions, and I love that Larry Bundy Jr. parody. And playthrough Shinobi Art of Vengeance DLC and stuff, and yeah, Sega Villains, and yeah. And that was April 13th, and now April 14th, of course, this is where I made the video on the Cyber Shadow and stuff. I got it on April 11th, but I made the video on April 14th, and yeah, that was April 14th, and now April 15th and stuff. If you don't know, I finished collecting all the Super Mario Galaxy McDonald's toys. Okay, well, necessarily I bought them on eBay, actually. I didn't actually go to a McDonald's and stuff. Since somebody actually, sold it on eBay for a very cheap price, $22, honestly, and I get that is a lot, but it makes sense since it is a lot of toys. But that's, kind of, the price of, of an indie game and stuff. Well, I'm thinking, Hollow Knight Silksong. I know not all indie games apply to that, but yeah, that was honestly really cool. So, no, I didn't really actually went to a McDonald's and stuff because, I don't eat McDonald's, man. I don't like it because, it's just not good for your health and stuff. And I like to have, good health and, cook at home and stuff since I know how to cook. But anyways, yeah, I did have all the Super Mario Galaxy Happy Meal McDonald's toys, and I might show all of them, in a video one day, and yeah. And I finally finished playing the Shinobi Art of Vengeance DLC stage, and yeah, farewell to that, and yeah, pretty much. And here's my, review on the Sega Villains DLC stage and stuff, and yeah. I really want Lizard Q to do a 2D Sonic, man, because I really trust them to do one, because it might just be the best Sonic game ever made that Sega will never make, honestly. So yeah. Well, okay, no, I don't trust Sonic Team and stuff. I trust, Lizard Cube to make a Sonic game, both 2D and 3D. But yeah. And finally, of course, Mouse Pie for Hire and Tomodachi Life both released tomorrow and stuff. Same day, both peak video games, just came out and stuff. And yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So then April 16th, 2 video games came out. Mouse Pie for Hire and, Tomodachi Life with Hugh Morris. Okay, I'm sorry for making that joke and stuff, but, he became a new icon and stuff. And also, I finished playing through Crimson Desert and stuff. I first bought it on Steam, but now I finished on PS5. And yeah, it was fun, and it was an amazing experience. Here's my entire review. But it was a very long, also short, but I liked how it combined both a narrow, compact, and open world, 2 genres into one. I was very worried if that would be too much, but no, they actually did a good job of it. It's definitely a game that you don't ever feel like it won't ever exist, but it did exist. Now, the only thing I'm not liking is that, just like with Pokemon Pokemon PA, where they're sadly not on a fully physical cartridge or disc, so you don't really own it, and I love physical games and stuff. I mean, why the heck did you think I made a video on a retro gaming review on Burnout Revenge for original Xbox? I love physical video games and stuff, and yeah, but it's still a great video game at the end of the day, and I still loved it and stuff. So yeah, but I finished it, and I'm not going to play it ever again. I loved the adventure I did. Spent 1 whole month on it, and I definitely say it's well-deserved, and yeah. And Mouse Pie for Hire is finally out. I finally purchased Mouse Pie for Hire and stuff, and of course we're going this badass solving crime and, shooting, thugs, politicians, and crooked cops, and yeah. The adventure begins, and Pragmata is releasing tomorrow and stuff. And yeah, and of course I finally purchased Tomodachi Life and stuff, and I got excited, and yep, and I purchased Pragmata right here, and once again I was again excited and stuff, and yeah, pretty much, maybe it might be Game of the Year, but I'm not sure though. There's so many contenders, and nothing happened aside from playing these 3 video games all at once and stuff, and yeah, pretty much. So now, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So now April 20th, happy 420 Day, Jacksepticeye's Elden Ring Bloodborne movie project. And then there's an Elden Ring movie project, but I'm not sure if that's like... I'm not sure if that's real though. I don't know if that's a leak or rumor, but yeah. But anyways... and that was that was April 8th, April 18th and April 19th, then April 20th. And yeah, so to highlight all the things that happened on, the second week of April, and yeah, which is what I'm going to be doing. And stuff, and yeah, so let's go ahead and recap this and stuff, so let's go ahead and stuff, and yeah. So, to say the goodbye to the second act of April 2026, Bloodborne and Elden Ring movies, I guess, conform and stuff. I don't know when they're coming out. I finally got my physical copy for Burnout Revenge for Microsoft OG Xbox. Mouse Fight for Hire, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, and Pragmata, all 3 amazing masterpieces. Drop, and I have all 3 of them. Oh, and also I forgot one more game, Replace and stuff, and yeah, I really need to add it to this list, but yeah. I also have Replace and stuff, and yeah, and stuff. I'm going to add it to this list, but yeah. But that was the second week of April 2026. I'm moving on to the third week of April 2026. The final one, April 21st to April 30th. Alright, finally, before I get to the third act, I obviously had to redo some text here and stuff. And yeah, pretty much. So I had to redo some text, and if you don't know what I had to redo, I basically added, basically the home section and stuff. Sorry, the off game switch section, and also Mouse Pie for Hire ending section, and of course, Mullen Magic on Switch section and stuff. So yeah, I a bit spoiled it there, but yeah. But anyways, let's get on to the third act, the third final week of April 2026. So for the third final week of April 2026, April 21st to April 30th, April 21st, Emplement's amazing NASCAR's Chaotic Driver video, which was just amazing. Probably one of the best Emplement videos since, the history of the Downward Spiral. April 22nd, of course, Splatoon Raiders release date finally, of course, and Video Game Donkeys, of course, hilarious, Pragmata review. April 23rd, Tethergast is finally coming out on May 7th. I'm very hyped for it, and I also got Marvel Cosmic Invasion for Nintendo Switch 2. And yeah, and then April 24th, final 1 year anniversary to, declare Obscure Exponential 33, as you can tell from, from right here and stuff, and yeah. And of course, Nine Souls Nintendo Switch 1 physical copy is finally out. I still don't have it yet though, but I already have ordered it from Fangamer and stuff. But I think Fangamer is pretty busy with orders and stuff, so I think mine might come a bit delayed and stuff. But I think I'm expecting either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So yeah, nothing happened on April 25th and stuff, and yeah, and then April 26th, I finished a new level for my Sumo ROM hack project, Mario Mushroom X 5. I'm going to be showcasing, of course, this year and stuff, this month and stuff, and yep, so stay tuned for that new level showcase. And April 27th, the Steam controller is coming out on May 4th. I'm not sure I'm going to be buying it, but of course, I may buy it, later this year, and yeah. But I really love the design of it. And Case, of course, is, Gnome Show is really amazing and stuff, and yeah, he came a long way from, recaps to a full-on original indie animation. And then that was April 27th, so April 28th, Liam Triforce's amazing video on the Sega Dreamcast. Its lineup was amazing, and yeah, amazing video, Liam. And that was 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And then April 29th, I finally finished Mouse Pie Fryer. Here's my entire review on it. Defeated Milford Sawyer, and of course, saved Mouseburg, and restored its freedom, and yeah. Farewell, Mouse Pie for Hire, and yeah. And April 30th, Mullen Mad Jack is on Nintendo Switch. I'm not really going to buy it, though, because, I'm not really interested in playing it again, but I hope anyone who plays it, has fun again. I already finished it back on Steam, so yeah. And that was the third final act of April 2026. Highlights: I finished playing Mouse Pipe for Hire, Pragmata, and Replaced, all 3 peak masterpieces. Emblem, its amazing NASCAR video, and Liam Triforce's amazing video on Sega Dreamcast, and Tethergas is finally coming out on May 7th. Farewell, April 2026, and yeah. And that was my April 2026 rewind, so yeah. Farewell, April 2026, and yeah. Well, anyways, guys, this is me, Enan63. Thank you guys for watching my April 2026 rewind video, and this is Enan63 saying goodbye and farewell, April 2026.